All right, today we're going to explore an agricultural innovation that could really change how one of the world's most vital crops is grown. We're talking about rice, of course, and a new method that's looking to make the whole process a lot more sustainable and way more efficient.
So for centuries, when you think of growing rice, you probably picture those flooded fields and really intense, back-breaking manual labor. And for a long time, that worked. But now, as resources like water get scarcer and labor gets more expensive, farmers are asking a really critical question. Can we grow more rice, but with less water and a whole lot less labor?
Okay, so this slide really lays out the two different ways to grow rice. On one hand, you have the traditional way, growing seedlings in a nursery, then transplanting them by hand into a flooded field. It works, but man, it's labor-intensive, uses a ton of water, and costs more. But then, on the other hand, we have this modern alternative called direct seeded rice, or DSR for short. And this method is all about mechanization, saving a ton of water, and bringing those production costs way down.
So what does this new process actually look like on the ground? Let's get into it. Well, instead of that whole complex nursery and transplanting deal, it really boils down to three key stages. First, you prepare the field. Then, you select just the right seeds for the job. And finally, you sow them directly into the soil using machines. That's it.
And this right here really illustrates the core innovation. It's all about mechanization. On the left, you see a tractor using a laser to level the field with incredible precision. Now that's super important for making sure water gets distributed evenly. And on the right, that's a specialized seed drill that's basically injecting the seeds directly into the soil. It ensures they're at the perfect depth and spacing. It's all about precision.
But of course, no big change comes without its challenges. And for DSR, the single biggest hurdle is weeds. See, in a traditional flooded paddy, the water helps keep the weeds down. But without that constant water cover, weeds can absolutely go wild and become a major threat to the crop.
And what you're seeing here is exactly that problem. These weeds aren't just a nuisance, they're in a direct competition with the rice plants for everything: sunlight, water, nutrients. If you let them go unchecked, they can completely devastate the final harvest.
So the solution isn't just one thing. It's a really smart, multi-layered strategy. Think of it like a three-stage defense. First, you clear out any existing weeds before you even sow the seeds. Then you use a pre-emergence herbicide to prevent new weeds from even germinating. And finally, about a month later, you hit them with a post-emergent spray to take care of any stubborn ones that manage to pop up. It's all about giving the rice a clean field to grow in.
Okay, so with the weeds under control, the focus shifts to keeping the rice plants themselves healthy and well-fed.
And what's really interesting is how farmers can manage nutrients. You might think it requires some high-tech sensor, but check this out. It's a simple, low-tech tool called a leaf color chart, or LCC, and it's incredibly effective.
Here's how it works. A farmer just matches their crop's leaf to one of the colors on the chart. If the leaf is a lighter green, say a 2 or a 3 on the chart, that's a signal. It means it's time to apply some nitrogen fertilizer. This just-in-time approach is brilliant because it prevents waste, saves the farmer money, and it's way better for the environment.
And, the final piece of the crop protection puzzle is just vigilant monitoring for common pests, things like leaf hoppers and stem borers. By keeping a close eye on the fields, farmers can catch any problems early on before they turn into a full-blown infestation.
Okay, so after all of that, the new process, the careful management, what are the results? What's the payoff? This is really why it all matters.
First, a huge reduction in how much water you need. We're talking 20 to 35% less water used. In regions where water is scarce, that is an absolute game changer.
Second, there's a big drop in costs. Think about it. You're eliminating all that labor for transplanting seedlings by hand. That can save a farmer around 10,000 rupees for every single hectare. That's real money going right back into their pocket.
And finally, this is the ultimate goal, right? A potential yield increase of 10 to 20%. So you're using less water, spending less money, and you can actually harvest more rice. It's a win-win-win.
And the benefits go even beyond the savings and the yield. The crop matures about 7 to 10 days earlier, which is great. Over the long term, it actually improves the health of the soil. And this is a big one for the environment. It reduces methane emissions because the fields aren't flooded for as long.
And this isn't just some substitute method. It's really a platform for the future of farming technology. We're already seeing high-tech tools like drone sprayers being adopted. It's all part of a larger shift towards what they call precision agriculture.
So, what's the big takeaway here?
DSR isn't just a new method. It's a glimpse into a more sustainable and, frankly, a much more efficient future for all of agriculture. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach food production.
And that really leaves us with a huge question to think about. As we look for ways to feed a growing planet, could innovations just like direct-seeded rice be the key to our future food security? It's definitely something to consider.